Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to talk about the best progressions to achieve the full Nordic curl and also how to use those progressions in order to make a workout up and pretty much how to train for the full Nordic curl. So let's dive right into today's video. And before starting off this video, I actually made a full video and pretty much a full tutorial on the Nordic curl, which was my last video uploaded on the channel. If you guys haven't watched that video, make sure to do so because it will give you a lot of very good info that is definitely useful if you want to train for the full Nordic curl. And also, before going over the first few progressions, I'm going to stress something that I pretty much always stress in my videos and also in the last video. Before doing any of these exercises, make sure that you have a good foundation first. If you're doing calisthenics, be able to do 10 or 15 plus pistol squats or shrimp squats quite easily. If you're doing weighted leg training, make sure that you have 6 to 12 months of good solid training in the back. Have a good foundation because this exercise is actually quite intense to train for, and so you're going to require a good foundation before starting off the training for this exercise. And with that being said, let's dive into the actual progressions for the Nordic curl, starting off with the Harop curl or the Nordic hip hinge. This is going to be the first Nordic curl progression, and it's going to start building up some basic hamstring and glute strength to obviously first and foremost perform Nordic curls, and secondly to actually keep your body aligned whilst doing your Nordic curls. Also, when you're doing just bodyweight training, it's going to be one of the first times ever in which you're actually going to isolate your hamstrings and your glutes, because the vast majority of bodyweight leg exercises are compound exercises, aka squats, in which you're pretty much not going to do that. So this exercise is going to build up some basic hamstring and glute strength, and it's also going to build up your mind-muscle connection with your glutes and your hamstrings, which is going to come in quite handy when you're training for the full Nordic curl. But you're not going to do this progression for very long because it is a relatively easy exercise. However, it is necessary to build basic glute and hamstring strength, especially if you only have been doing bodyweight training up to that point. And then the second progression is going to be the band assisted Nordic curl. This exercise is going to make up the bulk of your Nordic curl training, and you're probably going to do this for a very long time before achieving the Nordic curl. And what this exercise is going to allow you to do is to perform Nordic curls whilst having assistance from the resistance bands. And obviously, the thicker the band is, the more assistance it's going to provide you. So what you're going to do is you pretty much are going to start off with a band with which you're going to be able to do a couple of reps. And as you get stronger and as you get closer to the Nordic curl, you are going to change from a very thick band to a thinner and thinner band until you actually achieve the full bodyweight curl negative. And because of the abundance of different types of resistance bands, this exercise is actually very easy to scale according to your personal level of strength, and so pretty much allows you to train quite effectively towards the full Nordic curl. However, every single time that you're going to be using resistance band, you obviously have to take into account the nature of a resistance band. Pretty much the more that is actually stretched, the more assistance or resistance that is going to provide. And so what you will find is that the bottom part of the rep is actually the easiest part of the movement, which actually is in contrary to the actual full bodyweight Nordic curl, in which the bottom part of the rep is actually going to be the hardest. And that is why doing full bodyweight Nordic curls, when you're able to do them, is a very important progression when you want to go and achieve the full Nordic curl. And so the next progression towards the full Nordic curl is going to be the Nordic curl eccentric or the Nordic curl negatives. And this is once again a very important progression towards the full Nordic curl, because once again it actually matches the strength profile of the full Nordic curl, aka it is the hardest at the bottom part of the rep, which is in contrary to the band assisted Nordic curl. However, what I will say is don't start doing this exercise or this progression until you're able to have full control across the entire range of motion, because doing half reps on this is not very productive. So you probably are only going to be able to do this when you're doing full Nordic curls with a very thin resistance band. But once you're able to do this, definitely throw this progression in there, because it's going to help you massively to get closer towards the full Nordic curl. And those are the 3 main progressions that you're going to use to get yourself towards the Nordic curl. However, those are just exercises and how to actually turn this into an actual workout. Now, if you pretty much have been watching my channel for a bit longer than today, you guys will know that I'm a massive fan of top sets and back off sets, especially 1 top set followed by 3 back off sets. So that is pretty much how I recommend to train for the Nordic curl. So pretty much you're going to do 1 top set on 1 very hard progression that you're only able to do for 2, 3 or 4 reps. And after that set is done, you are going to do 3 more sets on an easier progression that you can do for about 5, 6, 7 or 8 reps. And by doing this, you're going to combine low reps and medium reps, which I found is a fantastic way to actually get stronger on an exercise. And when the point comes when your top set becomes way too easy, go for the harder progression and keep the back off sets in between about 5 to 8 reps. And so as the months progress, your top set is going to be a harder variation until you reach full body weight Nordic curls. And then lastly, before finishing off today's video, what about cutting range of motion when you're training for the Nordic curl, which is a progression that I see quite a lot on YouTube. Now, if you ask me, and my personal opinion on this matter is that I don't think cutting range of motion is a good progression to get closer towards the full Nordic curl, simply because training over a certain range of motion is going to get you better at that specific range of motion. So if you're training in a smaller range of motion, you are not going to build full range of motion hamstring strength. And yes, this might actually mean that you're going to have to do easier progressions initially and use thicker resistance band initially. However, you are going to build strength across the entire range of motion that you're going to perform Nordic curls in down the line. And yes, I know cutting range of motion made the exercise easier, but what's the point of that if down the line your goal is to perform Nordic curls through full range of motion? And with that being said, guys, that was the full video for today. Hope you guys found it informative and useful as always. And for now, let's actually wrap up today's video. So as always, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and follow me on Instagram. If you guys have any more questions, videos, or advice, leave it down below in the comment section. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. 3 videos a week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching, and latest.